I was right. I called it. I took my shot. I hit it, knocked it out of the park. What did I knock out of the park? What did I get right? What did I tell you was going to happen? Well, that gaming journalists, that social media, were going to completely misconstrue Satya Nadella's comments. They were going to completely misconstrue this as, this is Xbox new strategy. It's terrible. They're ignoring the console. They're going away from console. They're becoming a third-party publisher. They're not. That what we covered his comments yesterday. If you haven't watched the video, go watch the video. We play word for word what he says. He says none of that. Indeed, what he says is nothing new. It's been reiterated by Matt Booty, by Phil Spencer, by Sarah Bond. All of them are on the same page. Microsoft knows where it's going. Gaming journalists and social media pundits either are willfully ignoring this, refuse to see it, or they're just dumb. Honestly. Now, you may take that as an insult. You may think, oh, he's just being arrogant. He's just making this and being hyperbolic for videos. I'm really not. I challenge you. Go follow some of the top journalists, with the exception, there's a few that are legit and consistent and even-keeled and well thought out and nuanced. Everybody else is a moron. And when I say a few, I mean like 2 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Like that, the average is low. Go on social media, go sit there, go follow them for a month. Enough time for a lot of news to pass so that you can see it. And you may see it multiple times within that month. Just terrible takes as you're paying attention. As what they rely on, honestly, they rely on the average person just not paying attention. So they see a headline and that headline sets the narrative. But since I'm doing videos every day, since I'm looking at news, I'm reading all the different articles, I'm watching videos from a bunch of different people, I'm watching the source material and going to it, it has become so transparent to me that 90% of gaming media is dumb. Like, I don't know how, they're either dumb or they're evil, and they're willfully misleading for a narrative. And I think that's some people. I think that's some people. I think that's a small percentage. I genuinely think what is happening is innovation. And I think that gaming journalists primarily and social media pundits have never, they're risk averse. They have never innovated or created in their life outside of what they've written. Think about the trajectory of someone that writes in 2024. Right? Maybe here in the future, writing changes because you don't need to go to school for it. You can just do it. Anybody with a laptop can open it up and start writing and get good and practice and be skillful. AI is going to change a lot of that as well. But up until now, everybody that's currently in the gaming journalist positions that they're in, think about the trajectory that they went on. High school, probably did well in high school. Went to college, got a bachelor's degree, probably in writing or reading or journalism, something like that. Then probably graduate school. Same thing. Now, what do all of those things, as you're going through them, what do all those things have in common? They're very risk averse. It is the path you're supposed to be on. I'm not assaulting anyone that's done that. A lot of people that have done that are wildly intelligent. What I'm saying is that is a different path than an entrepreneur. That is a different path than someone that leads a industry changing movement that changes the future. That is a different way of thinking, particularly writing, journalistic writing, where there's rules and there's parameters and there's guidelines and there's a style book that you follow. It's much different. And I'm not saying that these people are incapable of being industry changing. Again, many of them are very smart. But for whatever reason, it's like first of all, I said this in yesterday's video as well. A lot of them criticize these business moves and then also criticize capitalism and then tell me about how the business of a Microsoft or a PlayStation or Nintendo is supposed to work. Well, if you hate capitalism, what are you talking about? Why should I listen to you? You hate business. You literally hate business. If you hate capitalism and you're a socialist, you want the means of production owned by government, which is the opposite of innovation, entrepreneurship, and business, which is the opposite of how corporations, well, not all corporations. There is, there's some, we know there's some corruption there for sure. I'm not saying that, but a lot of them, they're commenting on stuff that they just don't understand. And it's become so apparent to me. In today's video, we're going to go over that. We're going to review it. And then I want to talk about a operating system that Windows is working on that popped up that shows and proves Windows is not going away from hardware, everybody. Windows is not going away from consoles, at least not anytime soon. They will eventually. Everybody will when cloud reaches that point that it becomes commonplace, when it becomes nomenclature, when it is the norm for everybody to take part of it. Did I even use nomenclature correctly there? I don't know that I did. See, I'm trying to compete with these guys. I went to college, baby. I busted out nomenclature. Before we jump into this video, though, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time right here on this channel. We also have a podcast. If you prefer consuming this in podcast form, head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, X1 Daily. It's X1 Daily. Would love to have you over there. Please leave us a 5-star review. Also share us with your friends if you like this, if you like what we're doing here. Just a normal dude's take. With yes, I'm an Xbox fan, but I'm not an idiot. Like that's the key. I'm not willfully ignoring things. So let's jump into this. I just Google searched Xbox and hit news to see what comes up. And what comes up first is top 4 articles all about Satya Nadella's strategy, all about his comments made yesterday. Some of these headlines are honest or more honest. Some of them are just blatantly false. For instance, this one from our good buddy Paul Tassi over at Forbes. Paul Tassi is an excellent writer, but he has some terrible takes when it comes to Xbox, when it comes to Xbox business model. I just don't think he understands business. I genuinely don't. It's like he's ignoring all the words that are being said. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? That should be a meme by Phil Spencer, because it's like he's ignoring it. Here's what he says. Microsoft Satya Nadella doubles down on Xbox's confusing strategy. Is it confusing? Is the Game Pass strategy confusing? I will admit that perhaps people could take, I want to know right now which games are going third party and which ones aren't. And that's what the semantics being played there, and that's what they're calling confusing. Maybe. But the strategy overall is not confusing. What is the strategy? The strategy is Game Pass. The strategy is letting you be able to play your games everywhere through the Xbox ecosystem. And that includes Xbox consoles, that includes Xbox handhelds, that includes PCs and mobile devices. Game Pass will be everywhere. That is the strategy. I don't find that confusing. What games are going to third party? It'll be on a case-by-case basis, meaning we'll take a look at it. If it makes sense, we'll move it. If it doesn't, we won't. So for right now, only a handful of games are also going to PS5. Indiana Jones just dropped. It dropped exclusively on Xbox, Game Pass, and PC. It will drop eventually. It's a timed exclusive over on PlayStation 5. Okay, makes sense. Not confused about that at all. Nothing else out there. Everything else is speculation. That's it. Not confused about it. Windows Central, I think, has the most honest headline here. Inside the risky Xbox strategy that will define its next decade. I think that's honest. I think that's accurate. I think that's on point. Really, the Paul Tassi one is the one that's like confusing. Because I think it's a less risky strategy. It is a shift, though. I think they're innovating. That's exactly what they're doing. They're confusing innovation with sabotage, by the way. And I say this in a tweet, and we'll go over my tweets here in a second. But I think they're innovating, and that is anytime you lead an industry, anytime you're the first one in to do it, nobody's paved that path for you. It is risky. It is. So that's an honest headline for sure. WCCF Tech says Microsoft CEO, Xbox fans are being redefined into enjoying games on all. Hold on, let me see. Let me pull up this headline. Microsoft CEO, Xbox fans are being redefined into enjoying games on all their devices. I feel very good about the gaming division. It's not bad. Not bad. Paul Tassi still has the worst headline. Microsoft says the quiet part out loud. Kotaku. It's not the quiet part, though. Again, it's not. It literally is the strategy that they've not been hiding for over 2 years. So I'm very confused on that. Let's take a look. Let's take a look over at Twitter. And there was this. This is Uni Sensei. And I think I've probably retweeted some of his stuff before. He can have good content. He just got this wrong. I just think he got this wrong. So he's replaying a clip from Randall Thor and Colt Eastwood on the Xbox 2 podcast. And they're talking about, and Randall Thor says this, that there will be no more Xbox exclusives. Again, he can have that opinion if that's what he thinks. That's not fact, though. No one has said that from Microsoft. No one has said that from Xbox. If he thinks that, that's fine, but he's making a lot of assumptions there. And all of these people are talking as if that's fact and set in stone. And number one, I don't think that is fact. And number two, no one has said it as to yet. That's all opinion at this point. And so that's this 1 minute clip here, is Randall Thor going over that and basically saying that. And here's what Unisensei says. He tweets out, he clips it, and then he tweets it out, and he says, the truth is, this strategy isn't a mistake. They are blatantly trying to kill their own console without saying it. Launching without exclusives, long droughts with no releases, no third-party exclusives, incentivizing not buying an Xbox. Just admit it, watch their actions, not words. This is just wrong. That they're not intentionally trying to kill their console at all. Like that, excuse me, that's just wrong. That's not correct. So I responded to this. I replied, here's my reply. I said, this take is way off base and full of bad assumptions. Xbox isn't trying to kill their own console. They're evolving their strategy to grow their ecosystem beyond just the hardware. We talked about that in yesterday's video. They're moving beyond the console. That's all. They're not killing the console. They're moving beyond it. Now, maybe eventually due to cloud gaming and stuff, consoles become unnecessary. But that's not them killing it. That's the market, the change in the market killing it. But they're not killing it right now, and they're not intentionally killing it. They're moving beyond it. They're trying to grow their ecosystem beyond the hardware. I continue. Exclusives still exist, but the focus is on Game Pass, cloud gaming, and reaching more players across devices. You're mistaking innovation for sabotage, and this is the key. I see it all. Everyone is doing this. They're mistaking innovation for sabotage. Xbox is going third party. Xbox doesn't like their console. Xbox is killing their console. No, they're innovating. That's not sabotage. Those are two different things. You're mistaking innovation for sabotage. Xbox is playing a long game, and their actions, like investing in studios, building Game Pass, and expanding to the other platforms, show they're far from giving up. Adaptation isn't failure. It's strategy. Let me read that again. Adaptation isn't failure. It's strategy. And that's it. They're adapting. PlayStation's going to be doing the same thing. They already are making moves to do the same thing. Nintendo is going to do the same thing. Nintendo, I think, is a little bit ahead of the curve in respects that they have a handheld console, and everybody's moving handheld console. That's just where we're going here. It's not a failure. It's adapting. It's a strategy. That's what Xbox is doing there. And so these takes, they're just everywhere. It's so predictable. And honestly, the longer I'm on social media, when I first started this and started doing this, I gave deference to, oh, this person's a journalist. Oh, this person has lots of opinions. He's in the know. Oh, he plays like 5,000 hours of games a year. I don't get in that much. He must know way more than I do. No, you right here, you just watching this show, you know more and are more grounded than 90% of the people on social media, than 90% of the gaming journalists. Like some of it is them trying to create headlines, sure. But the rest is just this willful ignorance of what is actually happening and making assumptions, projecting their own feelings maybe onto the situation. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. But yet the longer seriously, and I'm not right. I'm not the smartest guy in the cup. I'm not saying that I get everything right. I ask you guys every single video. Hey, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm right, where I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. Please do that on this. But I'm telling you, it's all a facade. 90% of gaming journalists, there's a few that I really, really like and appreciate. DM me, I'll tell you who they are. Love them. They're very even kill. Ryan McCaffrey's one of those guys. Shout out to him. For the most part. But not everyone's perfect. Don't get me wrong. Not everyone is perfect. But some people, they're all over the place. They stick their finger in the wind. Where does it blow? I need to be popping on social media. So I'm going to act ignorant to this and switch the headline. Most of them are dumb. You are smarter than 90% of the gaming media journalists out there. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. If you disagree with me, tell me why you're not smarter than gaming journalists. I would love to hear it. Let me know in the comments below. All right, let's move on to the next news story here. This is Xbox is reportedly working on a cross-platform interface called Project Rainway. Project Rainway, I can't speak. But wait a minute, guys. I thought they were done with hardware. Why would they be creating an operating system if they're moving away from consoles? They're moving away from handheld as a console, everybody. Not sure if you knew that. Handheld as a console. This is over at purexbox.com. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Following on from Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella's recent comments about the future of Xbox, outlet Windows Central has dug into the Xbox owner's plans, subsequently revealing a new cross-platform initiative apparently going on at the Redmond company. According to the site, in particular reporter Jez Corden, Microsoft is working on some sort of cross-platform Xbox guide to use across multiple gaming systems. Sources tell the outlet that this initiative is called Project Rainway, and that Xbox headquarters has been inspired by Blizzard's Battle.net platform in spinning this up. Here's what Jez Corden said. Sources tell me that Microsoft is also working on a set of in-game APIs and user interface features called Project Rainway, which is some form of cross-platform Xbox guide menu. Microsoft has been inspired by the in-game Battle.net social features seen in Hearthstone, Diablo, World of Warcraft, which lets you share and communicate cross-platform no matter where you are. Love it. Use it all the time. This means that for games running on other platforms from Xbox, they will still have an Xbox flavor and an in-game Xbox systems maybe even cloud saves. What those other platforms would be remains to be seen, but it's probably safe to assume that any PC-like device or handheld system of that ilk could make use of this if it comes to fruition. Whether something like this could ever work on PlayStation and Nintendo systems is up in the air, but it's definitely, it can be if it's embedded in the game. Yeah, if it's embedded in the game, I'm sure it can be. It's up to now, do they allow it? That's going to be the question. But it's definitely less likely to be targeting those rival console platforms at this stage. Yeah, it's going to be for PC. It's going to be for PC and Xbox and handheld, so they can all talk to each other. Underscoring the fact that they're all in on consoles, guys. They've said, how much more do you want them to say? Our goal with the next console is to be the biggest technological leap ever between a generation. You don't say that if you're trying to kill off your console. Well, that's just them lying. Yes, I'm sure they're lying to us, guys. They're just that specifically they're lying to. No, they're not. All of this is just reported information at the moment, so it's worth bearing in mind, but does follow on rather fittingly from Nadella's latest comment and from Microsoft's. This is an Xbox campaign where it looks like we've got a few interesting years ahead of us. We for sure do. We are living through a monumental shift in gaming, in technology, in the world. I mean, look at all that has happened over the last 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years and beyond. We consume media in a different manner than we've ever consumed before. Technology is unlocking what is possible in gaming, what is possible in development, what is possible in creating videos here. It's never been easier at any other time to create a video. It's never been easier at any other time in history to connect. And it's very exciting. It's very exciting. Anyways, would love to know what you think about this. Do you want a Blizzard-like system so that you can talk between all your games, no matter where you are in this, particularly with Xbox first-party studios, no matter where you play your games? Let me know. Let me know if you oppose it. I would be interested to hear why you would oppose that. I can't think of any reason you would want it. I mean, more accessibility to connect with friends, no matter where they're playing, in an Xbox-like ecosystem. Not sure why you would oppose that. That's why I'm curious. Let me know in the comments below. We're going to end it there today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out. Again, don't forget that like button, subscribe to the channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. Drop videos like this all the time. Love hanging out with you guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.